Hi. If you'd like to use an initial flow field as your starting condition for a new simulation and not start from a sort of the normal default initial state of a very sort of chaotic, tiny amount of velocity seeded everywhere throughout the domain, and you want to sort of start from an established flow field and up to some steady state and then start from there. Using the FDS velocity field feature is what you're looking for. If you the current version of this that's with this version of Pyrosim, which is at this time 23.3.13.12, it only supports the velocity field. The A future version of FDS that has come out and will be supported in Pyrosim in the near future also allows you to dump not just the velocity field, but the velocity field, temperature field, and even species concentrations in the field. So you can kind of take the entire initial state of pressure, velocity, and gas species, capture that, and then use that as your starting place. But usually velocity is the thing that most people are concerned about, is like getting that field right. So for their starting condition. So this is how you do that. If you look in the FTS manual, you'll see there's kind of a two-step deal. The first step is to get your initial condition. So what you do is you need to um, in your dump name list group, so we'll go to analysis simulation parameters and miscellaneous tab. You can pick the dump record here, and then you would add in here dt underscore UVW. And then in the value, you can say, like I want to write this velocity field every 10 minutes, so every 600 seconds, dump the UVW. Now, if you need a more frequent set of the data or a less frequent set, right, you can change the value. Every 600 seconds, you'll dump the velocity field if you just put this number in. So you would run your simulation with this. The records would you would get these UVW fields values out, um, and basically what they're going to do is write these files that are something like your case name underscore UVW underscore T and then a number for the time each time. So it's going to start at like I believe 1 and then 2 and then 3, and that's representative of each sort of interval that you write out here. And then M and a mesh number. So as you can see here, something like M1, M2. So if you have multiple meshes, so you can kind of have a collection of these. If you have more than one time, you'll have files with different T values. And if you have more than one mesh, you'll have with different M values. And if you have different T intervals and multiple meshes, you'll have multiple T and M values. The key is to focus on the first mesh one, so mesh one, at whatever time that you're interested in. So the first time interval, so to speak. Now, now you would so you would run this, you'd get your answers. The next thing that you do um, is you need to do this CSVWF or CSVF file. So to do this part, you're going to take a line like this, you're going to add it to record view, and it'll be, here, let me just do a little select here. So it would be something like ampersand CSVF, UVW file equals, this would be your CHID, then it would be, whatever this full thing is. So if we did like underscore T001, underscore M001, .csv, whatever that first mesh file is. FDS will look for the remaining mesh files for the same time interval and automatically load those. You don't need to specify all of them, just the first one. Okay. And then and let's see. Yes, that's right. You need to add per mesh mesh underscore mesh. Yes. I guess that's not an automatic thing. You need to say it. So let me just see if that makes sense. Um, oh, right. So in the newest version, so this is the old way. That's what I was thinking of. In the new version, you just specify the first one, it finds the rest. You don't need this per mesh true thing. but in the current version, you need that so that it can find all of the other files. Okay, so now this is telling, now you know you would run one model just to get establish your flow field, or the simulation to establish your flow field. Then you would move those CSV files into the folder for your new model, or the model where you actually want your simulated results. So you would need all these CSV files to be there so FDS can find them in the same directory, and then uh, run this new simulation where you'll now have the fire and the dynamic, everything else that you want to see in the model, happening based off of that initial condition. And so this is the key, is to run the first time just dumping the data, and run the second time with your actual model doing all the dynamic things with this CSVF um, line in the additional records. We don't have UI for this yet, where you can sort of pick the file and make sure it comes over and all of that. This might be a nice I'll probably make a feature request for that to make this a little bit easier to do. Um, so you can just sort of pick your initial file, and we'll make sure we copy everything over into the folder where it belongs and run it and do all the other stuff for you. But it can be a little bit of hassle to make sure that you get your output. One thing that you can do is just do this write FDS, and then that will actually create the untitled FDS folder. Um, oh, I'm sorry, that won't do it. You would want to do the analysis with a very, very short time period. That will give you the output folder where all the FDS input files and everything are going to be. Then copy these CSV files into that. Then change the time to the full time period that you actually want to run for, and run it and with this CSVF line in here. And then it will read those files and use those, and progress forward through time. So there's a little bit of a little bit of work to do. This isn't sort of an automatic thing or a built-in thing in PyroSim, but you can see here how you can do the 2 runs to get the information you need and then use it in a subsequent run. And then any other models, if you save another model with a new file name and everything, you need to keep moving these files into the next set of folders. Um, they won't if they're not there, FDS will say I can't find the CSV, and then it'll fail. So make sure that you move these initial condition files around, make copies of them as needed. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.